Now we are at the point, I've mentioned a number of times in these last few hours, where we're at the end of a 26,000-year cycle. As I travel the world, it's obvious that there's an awakening going on, and again, the science is starting to identify it. Some years ago, a different pulse, a different resonance was identified in the center of the spiral of the galaxy. More recently, probes that have gone to investigate what's going on the sun have identified that tremendous changes are going on in the sun. Its magnetic field is falling, and there's incredible solar flare activity that's starting to emerge, which will be very powerful in the years ahead and fundamentally affect us. So you've had the different resonance coming out of the center of the galaxy and affecting the sun. The sun is changing. When the sun changes, we change. 99% of the mass of the solar system. It's now very demonstrably been identified as being passed on to the Earth. Tremendous changes are happening in the Earth's field. Magnetics are falling. Many phenomena are unfolding as a result of this changing frequency that's come out of the galaxy. And open-minded research has also identified how the Earth connects into the human form. The resonant frequency of the Earth comes in at the heart chakra point, the love point. And from there it goes to the brain, and the brain transmits it to every cell in the body. So when you follow this sequence, this is why people are waking up at this time in increasingly vast numbers. The frequency changes the center of the galaxy. It comes to the sun, the center of this solar system. Brings about change there. From there it goes out to the planets of the solar system, to the Earth. The Earth manifests its changes. We live in the Earth's field. It affects humanity. And now this rising frequency, this changing energy field, is starting to dramatically change life on Earth, and we've seen nothing yet. If we shut down the heart, or if we get into the intellect, which follows the kind of intellectual programming instead of following the intuition of the heart, then we can switch off this connection with the cosmos, this connection through this sequence out into infinity, when the head shuts down and shuts down the heart. And that has been the process of the education system and other institutions. It's been to get people to close their heart down and get stuck, imprisoned in the head. Therefore we switch off the cosmos and live in the eggshell. We keep coming back to the same thing. People like Gregg Braden and others have started to focus on this particular image. Back in 1899, something was identified called Schumann cavity resonance. What it was the heartbeat, the frequency beat of the Earth. From the time of its discovery, 1899, to 1986, this heartbeat frequency was a constant 7 cycles, 7.8 hertz a second. Constant. Boom, 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 boom. From 1986 onwards, it started to rise dramatically, just when people started to wake up in increasing numbers. It's gone through 9, apparently the last I heard it was gone through 10 cycles. And the projection is that by 2012, which is the point the Maya say in their calendar, and so many other calendars point to the same period, that the jump will be made from this cycle of human evolution into the next one as the 26,000-year cycle comes to an end and we enter the start of the next one. At the same time that this resonant frequency of the Earth, boom, 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 is getting quicker, and therefore affecting us, coming in through the heart for those that are open and resonate in our bodies increasingly and changing our minds and our perception of life, the magnetics of the planet are also dropping, like they are on the sun, very dramatically. 2,000 years ago was the peak of this cycle when the Earth's magnetic field was at its most powerful. It's been falling ever since, and it falls exponentially. The quicker it falls, the more it falls, the more it falls, the quicker it falls. And the projection is that what Braden calls 0 point, 2012, is that the magnetics will reach virtually zero, if not zero, on the planet, and 13 cycles a second will be reached by the Schumann cavity resonance, the heartbeat. Now, one thing's for sure, at that time, The Price is Right ain't going to be on the telly, because this world is going to be very, very different by then. And this is what we're heading for now. Now, the reason this brotherhood have focused on the millennium rather than this real point of change, because we have the millennium because of the Gregorian calendar, which came out of the Vatican, they are trying to do a situation through the microchipping whereby we are held back artificially from making this leap of consciousness into a totally different state of being. Why is the magnetics of the planet falling? Very simple. When you put an electrical charge through an iron bar, it creates a north and south pole. When you put the charge the other way, the poles magnetically flip. If you look at the geological and other evidence, this has happened again and again on this planet, many, many times. There has been a magnetic pole shift when the whole magnetic field of the Earth has flipped, which has, of course, serious consequences and brings about tremendous change. Now, what is it that creates the Earth's magnetic field? It is the Earth spinning. Therefore, it throws out this electrical charge that creates the Earth's magnetic field. One other thing that's being identified as this change unfolds is that the Earth is spinning slower and slower. As it does so, the power of the magnetic field that it creates is getting less and less powerful. And again, the projection is around 2012 that the Earth could stop spinning altogether for about 3 days and then start to spin the other way. And what will happen at that point? The poles will flip magnetically. And the poles will change, and that, the geological and other records show, has happened again many times. Indeed, you look at some of the ancient texts and descriptions, they talk about phenomena that fit very well into this happening before. They talk about the longest day, the longest night, and what have you. So we're entering a period of fantastic change which is getting faster all the time. And we have two challenges here. Two challenges, one after the other. The first is to open our minds, start taking responsibility back, and remove this edifice of control and suppression of information, which will allow the full flow of knowledge of who we are to flood into the public arena. Once people get access to that information and start to realize who they really are and the nature of life, then we can go into stage 2, which is the incredible consciousness shift that is going to happen and is happening for many people already, but can happen for everybody if we open up to the knowledge of what's going on. And to do that, the edifice of suppression has to go. And what I see so often in the kind of what we call the New Age movement is they're focusing on the second bit and they're in denial about the first. And the second is not going to happen for many people unless we remove the edifice of suppression, because most people are going to think, what the heck's going on? They're going to go through this great change in a complete fog of what's happening. Tremendous fear. Oh my goodness me, what's happening? So there's two things to do here. One is to start focusing on how the world's controlled, identifying it, removing it. Secondly, then we can concentrate unhindered on the transformation spiritually that is unfolding to the year 2012.